And on behalf of the Jacksonville Onslow Economic Development Board of Directors, I'd like to welcome you here today and thank you for sharing in the celebration. We're very excited. Many of us have anxiously awaited for this day, and I'm so glad that you could be here to join with us. You're going to hear from a couple of folks today. I'd like to acknowledge them right now. Barbara Ikner, the chairman of the Onslow County Commissioners. John Loyak, who is the vice president of Global Business Services at the Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina. Senator Harry Brown from our very own Onslow and Jones County is here with us today. And then, of course, you're going to hear from Josh Armstrong, who is the CEO of Armstrong Marine Incorporated, and, of course, our special guest today. Not a guest, actually. Now he actually bodes Hubert, North Carolina as part of his home. He's here enough. So without further ado, I'm actually going to ask Chairman Ikner to come up and then ask the other speakers to just follow behind her so that we can actually hear what they have to say during our celebration today. Thank you all for being here, and I think this is the first of many great things to come that you're going to hear about.
Thank you, Sheila. As many of you know, economic development is a tough nut to crack, and Sheila and her team has worked diligent to bring this project here to Onslow County. I am extremely pleased to be here today to see the rollout of this boat. Here in Onslow County, we feel like we have a tremendous workforce. We feel like that we have everything that a manufacturer or a company could ask for and even more. So as we start this endeavor, I would like to extend on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners a hearty welcome and just say anything that we can do to help promote economic growth here in Onslow County. Your Board of Commissioners are more than willing to sit at the table and listen. So thank you, Sheila, for the job you've done. Thank you for this enterprise that is now a part of Onslow County. Thank you so much. At this time, I'll introduce John Lomack.
Thank you very much, Chairman Ikner. So it's a pleasure to be here. My name is John Loyak, and I work with the Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina, based up in our Cary office. But as you can tell, we serve businesses all over the state. I think one of the things that the Economic Development Partnership is primarily known for is our efforts to recruit new businesses. But the Global Business Services team that I represent are all about working with existing industry, businesses that are here. How do we strengthen them? How can we help them? How can we help them hire the folks they need? How can we help them find new markets? How can we help them get on a path where they're ready to expand? So Josh, you're going to be seeing a lot of us. We're going to continue to support you in your efforts, but I would like to say that this moment is, first, it's a moment for congratulations. So I'd like to congratulate you on all the hard work that you've done and everything that's led to where we are today. But this is something that we're seeing a lot just within the marine industry here, all over the state. It is an industry that is growing. It's growing in terms of jobs, in terms of its economic impact, and we are very, very happy to support those efforts in any small way that we can. There is something about this marine industry. It is a part of the heritage of North Carolina. We have this amazing coast, and it's something that allows us to take advantage of that. It just seems that there's a perfect synergy there. But at the same time, the boating industry is something that touches a lot of other industries here in the state. It's certainly having a huge impact on the textile industry. It's having an impact on the composites industry, and it's having an impact on suppliers all over the state. So whether we're talking about a plastics molding company or we're talking about metal fabrication, there's a number of different industries that you're impacting. So what we're here to celebrate today, and this beautiful boat behind me, is a lot more than just the marine industry. And so we thank you for that. We thank you for everything you do. And I'll just close by saying that today is a wonderful day. We're here to celebrate, but for us, it does not end here. You know, the Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina is going to be here to support you moving forward. We will be here to support you directly. So we have a regional industry manager here who's unable to join us today, but she will be here to support your efforts, whether it be tying you into important parts of the supply chain that you need, or whether it be tying you into the community college in different ways. We have people that are here to help you. Someone that did join me today is Mr. Glenn Jackman, and Glenn is one of our international trade managers. And so Glenn is somebody who can help you break into international markets, whether that be through the marine industry, through the security industry, through the energy industry, whatever different areas you're looking to get into. We've got people and resources in place to help you break into international markets, and we'll continue to do so. But certainly it's not just about the Economic Development Partnership. There's a lot of people here today. We've got folks from the Department of Commerce here today as a part of our NC Works program. We have people from our community college system here that are here to support you and provide customized training, and I know some of them already are. We've got a lot of resources that are here. So I want you to remember that as we leave here today, we are still there. So you have my business card, you have my cell number. You give us a ring anytime, you tell us the things you need, and we are here to support existing industry in the state, and we want to see you succeed and grow. We want to be there, part of it. There may be times when you tell me, John, I just need you to step out of the way. I'm happy to do that as well. But I just want you to know that we're very, very happy to help. So I'll close with that, but it's now my pleasure to introduce Senator. You will be up next, and it's a pleasure to be here, folks. Thank you.
It's surely a pleasure for me to be here today. I just happen to have a house right down the road, so I know this is a great place to be. But first, Josh, I want to thank you for believing in Onslow County, believing in North Carolina, and believing in this area to come and locate your facility, because we think that this is one of the jewels of the country, and it's just kind of hidden, and you just happen to find it. So this is a great place to be. Sheila, you do a great job, you know that, and Sheila and I have worked together for many, many years. I just want to thank you for that, and the good work that you continue to do. And John, I appreciate you being here today as well. It's a lot going on, and I know you can be anywhere in this state, but what the partnership's trying to accomplish, and just the relationships, and again, I think you're finding out, and I know you know this, it is working together, and it's teamwork, and trying to put these things together. They're never easy. Josh could go anywhere in this country, and trying to put together a team to make us attractive is always interesting and sometimes difficult, but that's what we do. In North Carolina, incentives are a key piece for us. Tax policy is a key piece. I know in the Senate, we think that's got to be a balance, and we're working on some incentive stuff today. It's a little different sometimes than maybe what the House sees or what the governor may even see, but I think one thing the Senate has always tried to do is find a balance, because we think existing businesses are just as important as recruiting new businesses. And I think that's why you've seen in the last 4 or 5 years how we've really tried to change tax policy in the state and make it more attractive for businesses. If you think about it, at one time we had a 6.9% corporate rate. We're down to 5%. That's scheduled to drop down to 4% and even 3%. I think that makes us very attractive. The personal income tax rate at one time was 7.75. Now it's 5.75. So that means a lot as well for businesses. And of course, you got to have incentives, because you got to be in the game, because everybody's got them. But how you approach those incentives, I think, is important, and we'll continue to work through that. But we want to make this state as business friendly as we can. We think we're working to do that. And I think this is an example. And again, Josh, I can't thank you enough for being here today and moving your business here. So thanks a lot.
Very happy to be here. It's been a long time coming. I've known Sheila for quite a while, and she's really wanted to have this happen, and I'm really happy that we're at this day. So thank you, Sheila, for everything. So it took, it's taken definitely several years to get to this point, and in terms of trying to decide where, and we looked at several different states, but up all through North Carolina, and I definitely fell in love with this place just immediately right away as soon as I ever came. And then you get into the hard part, and so the hard part is starting to put all of the infrastructure together to do what we already know how to do somewhere else. You're looking at the first boat that was 100% made in North Carolina, so we're really proud to say that. A little bit about Armstrong Marine. We have actually been in 26 years, we've built over 1,300 vessels for many different markets, very similar to this one here. This specifically is a 32-foot by 11-foot wide fireboat, and that's you can see here it goes to Sullivan Island, South Carolina, and they're very excited about their new boat. They'll do search and rescue with it. Although it looks extremely tough, and it is, it's also very light and it's very fast. It's a 50-mile-an-hour boat. They run in very, very rough weather conditions. It has a drop-down door in the front. You can do diving, and you can put four-wheelers on the front of it and go to, some outer island. And it has a fire pump, approximately 600 per minute fire pump in it. So it's a very multi-use vessel. It's also, gaining a lot of popularity specifically in the fireboat market. It's very stable, and you can put several firefighters on one side as a catamaran. It doesn't have a whole lot of pitch or roll or anything to it. We have the next one, which is going to be just the same as this, going out behind. It will go to Boston, the city of Boston. We're working with fire departments all up and down the East Coast, but we have about 5 other vessels that are in various different stages of construction. Some of them are for the East Coast, and some of them are for export. We have one that goes to Brazil, to Brasilia, the capital city of Brazil. It's being manufactured here in North Carolina. So, that's fabulous. I'm really excited about that. A little bit about what drove me to come here is, being from the Pacific Northwest, and, we're in a small city, Port Angeles, Washington, very near Seattle. We're in an epicenter for aluminum boat construction. We service the Alaska market. We service the markets in Hawaii. It's a very well-established business model, not just ourselves, but many of our competitors. But we're spending, significant money every year shipping vessels all the way across the country. They're oversized. They require permits, or in some cases, we're shipping them through the Panama Canal. So the amount of money that was being spent was one of the initial drivers. Like, we're spending too much money shipping. IKEA came up with a flat pack a long time ago, so we need to do something about this. Anyway, so how are we going to go ahead and compete with our good competitors in the Northwest? Well, maybe we should just have a second location where we're doing exactly the same thing, and where we're assembling and putting together the same product line, and being right closer in with the folks that are actually going to be able to use them, be able to provide even after delivery service to clients, such as we shipped a new vessel 3 years ago to the state of South Carolina, to CCU, a research boat for mapping the bottom of the ocean. Well, it was over $100,000 just for the shipping to get it there, and they can't get anybody to do any work on it because nobody around does any. Where are we going to do the work? Right here. So there's also, we're established in a whole lot of different markets, but one of them is the energy sector. And in energy, I guess it's a fairly broad statement. We service oil and gas markets. Years and years, we've done very well in Prudhoe Bay, Alaska. It's shallow water. They build sand islands, and it's icy and ice roads in the winter, and in the summer, they move everything with boats. It's the least expensive way to move small passengers and freight is boats. We make them every year. Always have, probably always will. But we also sell to other areas. We're working on deals in Trinidad. They have some, they're right by Venezuela, and it's an island. They need boats. Well, they're going to be on the security side. We'll do that into the Middle East. We've shipped boats from Seattle to the Middle East. We'd rather build them here because it's closer, it's less transit time. There's also something that they do very well in Europe, and that's the wind energy. We know that within the U.S. we have a huge opportunity for offshore wind energy, and that spans, north and south of here. We are almost in the middle of where there's planned wind farms that are offshore. All of those wind farms need wind farm support vessels. Wind farm support vessel is they usually sell them in meters, between 18 and 22 meters, maybe 60 to 80 feet sort of size range, and they are almost 100% welded aluminum catamarans. They're all over Europe. You see them all over the place servicing these big wind turbines. Where should those be made? Right here. So we're a little bit ahead of that. That should, we should say maybe 30 years worth of growth into that. And, we plan to, work with the college. We plan to work with the community to get people trained and learn the skill sets and do that so that we get to respond to that opportunity. I like to think of things coming ahead we're not here to build one or two boats, to come and to go through the effort and to fly back and forth all the time. For me, I'm not doing it for the short term. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting old, but I'm actually just 45. I want to be in it for quite some time here, and I'm really excited about, it's a very welcoming community here, really, from the restaurants, just people I meet, or sit beside somebody, on the jet flying out, and the business person from the community. Everybody is very welcoming, and it makes it easier for me. So I see a lot of people standing around here who I got to meet a few of. But speaking, as the CEO of Armstrong Marine, and then all of the people, we fly people in, some specialty people who do training and stuff. We all say thanks to you, thanks to the community for welcoming us, and we plan to really grow this into something, much more significant than you just see here now. But we're happy to be getting the momentum. We have. We have 14, 15 employees or something like that at the moment here. We just recently prevailed on a contract for Hampton Roads Transit, which is Norfolk, and they just procured, we're doing 4 passenger ferries for them, 150 passenger ferries, and they'll move people back and forth across the river. I was at a kickoff meeting for that a couple of days ago in Norfolk. We are going through the final phases of the design, and we'll be able to, release those cut files for those parts, and we'll be under construction probably early fall. We said September, October, and we're going to be able to really bring on some more folks at that point. So we have to kind of ramp the employees up a little bit, get the systems, and wire the plugs in the walls and get the right equipment. And there's a lot to do to sort of set it all in motion. But that contract is very well suited for this facility. We're very well suited for the company. It spans out about 2 years worth of work, and it's about maybe 25 or 30 guys for 2 years. Very happy to have that contract, and very excited about working with those folks, because we're going to be able to we're giving them good value. We don't have to ship it a long ways. We have the right facility. Somebody mentioned to me that the state of North Carolina is actually the number 2 largest for ferry systems. I didn't know that, and I don't actually know whether that's true, but I would imagine there's a lot of stuff with Outer Banks and such. Well, the number 1 state happens to be Washington for ferries, so maybe I'm in 2 good places. But we've heard that they are talking about the possibility of having some aluminum ferries, and we love aluminum, so we like to talk about it. We don't know what size they'll be. We don't know whether they'll fit within our sort of portfolio of vessels, but we sure hope so. And we work forward on opportunities, usually about 2 years. You're thinking, okay, that's a while to sell something. Well, it is. You spend all this money and effort going to foreign trade shows here. It takes a while to educate the buyer about what they're, how to solve their need. We're into solving people's need, and so we got to get to know the people from the, that have the ferries, and see whether or not there's something that we can make that is going to make them more fuel efficient, less maintenance, lower their overall cost, reduce the carbon footprint, all of these things. That's really what we're into. Years and years ago, I would go to a boat show, and people wouldn't know. They'd look at an aluminum boat like, is this from Mars? Or, they don't know what it is. Well, I definitely get that same feeling coming here a lot, and I don't get it anymore, where I'm from. However, so it takes a little bit to educate people about really what it is. It's definitely not a John boat. It's very rugged, very industrial, very low maintenance, very fast, very fuel efficient, functional, high resale value. We even sell them to the general public too. It's not our core market, but we sell them to the general public. Fast, fuel efficient, low maintenance, high resale value. These are good things. So, anyways, I don't know if I'm quite talking in circles yet, but I'm very excited. So, thanks to everybody for coming, and I'll be around if anybody wants to ask questions. And we can have a couple people up on the boat. We probably can't have all of you at once, but we probably can have a couple people if anybody's interested in having a further look. So, thank you.
Josh, it seems sometimes like it was just a few months ago that I was out in Port Angeles, Washington, visiting with you. And then again, I realized that was probably close to 3 years ago. Donna and I first discovered that we were both working on this project from different ends. And when we compared notes, we just closed in on Josh, and he didn't have a chance after that to come here. But I will tell you, he's helped change my business model. I've told everybody in this community over and over again, although it's important to recruit new businesses here, it's very important to take care of our existing businesses. In fact, more important to take care of our existing businesses, and that I've asked every one of them to keep my card next to their phone, and short of a coffee call, that I will do anything for them. Well, Josh has changed that. Now when Josh is in town and he wants me to come see him, he texts me his coffee order, and I pick it up and I bring it down. True?
It's true.
It's true.
You know, being from Seattle, we can't survive without coffee, and you know, it's very hard to find. I can tell you where within 50 miles where every coffee shop is and which one of them, you know, I would go to, but I count on Sheila to bring me the Starbucks in the morning.
Thank you again for coming and joining us today. Like you said, I think we could do some limited tours on the boat. You need to see it because it is actually very well designed and custom out. It is a work of art, and we are so looking forward to many more of them coming out of this site in Onslow County. Thank you, Josh.